You're tuned into Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
Hi, hello. How are you doing? My name is Liz. This is Tom. That's Tom DePinto. This is RBLR Sun FC. Woo! Tom, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm okay. Oh, hold on. Let me.
We've ruined
the glasses.
You got ruined. Oh.
The bit ruined immediately. Liz, I'm doing. Liz,
I look how much more beautiful I am now.
Right, Liz. Did you see that game? I'm doing so good. It's crazy right now. I feel medicated.
It's nice to have a new highest scoring Sun game in history.
Finally,
it is nice.
Yeah, when your highest scoring game is 3, it's not much.
Yeah, but 4.
Come on,
that's pretty good.
That's a big number. That's one of the highest numbers I can count to for. Because I know this is 5, and I don't think there's more after that.
No, there isn't. You're right.
No, God would have given me more fingers if there were more numbers after 5.
Yeah, that's accurate.
So we scored most of the possible numbers in our last game. We got 4/5 of the numbers.
I was trying to think of a good segue into this, and I can't. So, and then the awkward pause didn't help. So, like and subscribe, please and thank you. Hit the buttons. At RBLR Sun FC on all the socials, and at RBLR Sports on the YouTubes, where you can see our beautiful faces. Yay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited that we won. And it was very exciting to be there. Not so great for our smoke budget, but shout out Brian, who keeps buying us smoke. We love him. Thank you.
Even though it just blows over the swamp now. The wind hasn't been in our favor as far as the smoke goes in like 3 months.
No, he said it's because it's been winter. Everything was blowing the other way when it was really hot. Remember?
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
so you may not see it on the podcast, actually, but
when people complain, though, about the smoke, we can be like, okay, now you just have to come back in November.
Yeah.
and then you can sit there. How's that? Please pay for the more expensive seats for the first half of the season, and then the second half of the season, you can pay for the cheaper ones. The end.
Yeah, I couldn't.
It's a flawless plan. Flawless.
I couldn't agree more, Liz.
Thank you. We are off to a great start today.
we're off with energy, just like the Tampa Bay Sun Football Club was off.
Oh yeah. We were coming out hot from minute 1, honestly. Like, what is it? I have in the 6th minute, we have Paige to flew in the box. So close. So we got as the 6th minute. It was beautiful.
I think this is like the second game in a row now where, like, the first thing our team did was immediately chase down the ball. I think Listro got a touch on in the last game, and in the past game against Lexington, I think it was Flew immediately going after the ball. Like, I don't know. Teams don't expect that to happen. You kind of let the other team pass around and start the feeling out process. We're not letting that happen. No,
I love it.
No, we are not allowing the feeling out process. We are going out there and feeling them.
Yeah.
Making sure we're felt.
Especially when you try to foul our players and then Tosh hip checks you.
Yeah, happens a lot. We are not an easy team to foul, it seems like.
No.
Unless you want to try and chop down Signacello or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just looking at my notes and I was like, where Lex play? Why was Lexington so bad? Sorry, at John Hunt, if you're listening.
Friend of the pod, John Hunt, sorry.
Yeah, friend of the pod. We're about to trash your team, and I'm really sorry, but y'all played like garbage.
Bad. Not good.
Lexington bad.
We can say that with certainty now.
This was like, I'm gonna be honest. Like this, if I haven't watched your other games, I'll be honest. But this feels like when we played Spokane, just bad.
Yeah. Yeah, all game there just wasn't. I know they're dealing with an awkward situation up there with the coaching. We touched on it in the preview last week, where they got some players kind of in the doghouse. The coach came in, the new guy, the interim coach, Sam Stockley, wanted to kind of start fresh. And see what everybody could do. And I don't know what the problem is. If he's not getting his messages across right, if he's not being heard right, if he's utilizing players in a different way or not utilizing the same players. But it's not, at least the Lexington of old, when we were watching them in the fall season, you remember, that was it was kind of an exciting team. You could count on them for a late goal, something happening off of a corner kick or a free set piece. The energy, I think they see the writing on the wall. The season's drawing to a close now. You got 5, 6, 7 games left, depending on who you are. I just don't know if their heart's in it that much anymore in Lexington, because they set up all night in a high line, but they don't press like they're pressing high. They're just up there. So I don't know if they don't want to throw themselves into the game when they don't feel like there's any point to it, or what the issue is, because it doesn't feel like the same Lexington I've seen in other games, and it's tough to watch as a neutral or a Lexington fan. This was probably not a great game, especially as a Lexington fan for sure. As a Sun fan, I had a lot of time there, but it's once you look at it a second time with a fresh set of eyes, and you go, oh wow, yeah, the Sun looked really good. Everybody on the team looked really good, but at the same time, there just wasn't any pressure that you would see out of a lot of other teams in the league. Yeah, so I'd say we're happy to play them again another time this year in one of our last 6 or 7 games, which we get to do.
Yeah. But I mean, both of us at one point were just like, Lexington, do something. Like, we were like, we love the Sun, but like, Lexington, please, like, come on.
Yeah, we try to rewatch the games together to get our ideas before we do this, and I think that was the first time you and I like started to empathize with the other team's fan base.
It's like, are you dead? Come on.
Yeah. Please, the poker. Come on, do something. That's exactly what it was. And I mean, we were playing our ball. It's that 3-5-2 pretty soccer formation that we both love. We came out there with it and we executed according to the game plan very well. Let me go over that lineup real quick. It's pretty similar to what we've been doing. I think the big change was we got our international players back. So Huxter gets in. She didn't start, but from the back, Ashley Orcus in goal. She's got her swag back. No reason for her to not be back there. The back 3 was Paige on the left side, showing her versatility. She plays right, she plays left. Brooke Hendricks as the lone center back, as it were, and Viv Bissett on the right. And again, this whole formation is where we start, but it's very, very mobile, very fluid. Paige has got the speed to get up into the attack on the left side, and Bissett or Hendricks will kind of be the 2 back. Bissett restarts a lot of the plays out of these short goal kicks that Ashley does. So it all moves around, but this is the general framework. Moving up to the 5 midfield set, we're pretty much done with that old double pivot that we were sort of doing earlier in the season. The Listro and Flint as the double pivot it was for a while. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't really do that anymore. The 5 midfielders are very much interchangeable in a lot of different ways. Nacello starts as the left winger, but again, Liz, what's her real position?
The field.
Yeah, she turns up everywhere. She gets her goal pressuring out of the left side, but you'll see her right-sided corner kick. She'll be over there. She'll track back defensively to either side wherever she's needed because she's a pit bull that doesn't stop running. So Nacello on the left, Jamona as kind of the left center mid. Flint started as the center mid and was a really effective midfield disruptor all game. And then Listro in her typical spot, the right center, and Dory Haugen moving upfield a little bit as the right midfielder and getting some really good crosses out of that too, I thought, right? Dory?
Yeah. No, Dory was on fire last night. Or
Yeah.
that night. Wow. Sorry. I was trying to type something and then it was that thing where you're like, Lizzie, you're supposed to also be listening.
Yeah, you are an active participant in the show.
I am.
And then up top we had I love that self-affirmation. I am. And then up top we had Parker Goins teaming up with Cecilia Flew back from her international duties. And Flew was a spark plug. She was a dynamo everywhere.
Yeah.
Definitely allowed to get further up the field than anybody when she's out there. I think that's the plan with her. Goins kind of sneaking around, but Flew really pressuring hard a lot of the time. So again, that's the 3-5-2 that we're looking for, but anybody could really show up anywhere depending on what the flow of the game called for.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, and I love that we're sticking with this 3-5-2 and we are nice and interchangeable. There are some players that I'm kind of sad that we're not seeing as much, like your Jade Moores. And I liked when we used Erica Timrak. I love that we put in Wasilla. I love that. But I know we can't play everyone, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, and we're seeing a Wasilla resurgence lately too.
I know. I love it. I love it. She's so good and she's so quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
like a little Sonic the Hedgehog. I love her.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same way I think that Flint is like that midfield disruptor when we are tied or trailing, and she's super effective in that role. When we've got a pretty nice lead, Wasilla fills that same role just further back in the field. We don't need the possessions bad when we've got the lead. So let them do what they're going to do. As soon as they get in a little bit of a dangerous spot, they're going to get mobbed by Wasilla Duasole.
And I mean, that was kind of the vibe the whole night.
Yeah.
I think this was the game where we didn't have possession for most of it, right? Or was that the last game? And I'm mixing up games.
We're not relying on, you're right to say that we're not relying on possession half as much as we did kind of earlier in the year.
Yeah, like I feel like we had the ball. They might get the ball. We kind of herd them around, like I was saying last time, just kind of like shepherding them, like, oh, we're gonna let you be in this part of the field for right now.
Yeah.
But still, like, not even with touches on the ball, but still controlling where the ball is going.
Yeah. This game against Lexington, we actually did pretty decisively, 55-44, the possession battle.
Okay.
But a lot of
the last game, sorry.
Yeah. But the storyline is absolutely correct. And I think the only reason it's gotten out of vogue as part of our game plan, having possession so much as we used to. And the only reason I think we won the possession percentage in this game against Lexington is just general passivity.
Yeah, they didn't press. There was one point where I was just, I was like, you didn't do, you just stood there.
Yeah.
I think at one point, Tosh just has the ball and she stops.
Yeah.
Play stops.
Puts the ball on the other side of her. Is kind of like looking around, like, yeah. So, and that's, I mean, it's that you see a lot more of that once we fully kind of break their backs after the goals start opening up. But even early on, we're dangerous from the word go, and I'm almost surprised we didn't score. I'm not almost. I'm totally surprised we didn't score sooner than we did.
More, yeah. Dangerous, but also Orcus was at peak shithousery.
Yes. Yep.
I have several notes here with timestamps of just her just being ridiculous. There was one where she falls over, like, the fall over like you do to waste time. Okay, falls over, goes, whoo, and literally like wipes her brow like a cartoon. It was very funny.
Yeah.
Just to waste more time, which we hadn't even scored a goal yet.
Yeah, hey, that's how she gets in the game.
Yeah. This fellow does eventually score about the 36th minute, by the way, which was Honestly, go back and watch the highlights. If you didn't watch this game, first of all, go watch this game. But if you don't want to watch this game, you really don't have the 90 minutes to devote to it. Go watch the highlights because all of the goals were freaking phenomenal. I'm not wasting it on that. They were just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, the Lexington goals, I mean, whatever. Our 4 goals were fantastic. Yeah. We had a lot of good early pressure. You could see Lexington was disoriented from the get-go. We got that 10th minute foul on
what
the
is it? Oh, here we go. I wrote
one
down
of the earlier ones ever.
It was the aesthetics of high press with no actual press.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was like, that's accurate.
That's exactly what it was. They're standing where you would for a high press without finishing the run, without running the extra 2, 3, 4, 5 yards to apply some pressure. And that's just too easy for our ball carriers, for our defense.
Yeah, especially Nasello. So as we were saying, like her goal, your notes, sustained possession, which she loves to do. She'll take a ball, she'll dribble it till she runs out of energy.
Yeah. This was good. A couple times we would press, we would have the ball around their the attacking third, around their 18-yard box, and then recycle it. Sometimes it's frustrating to see that out of teams, but this seemed very calculated when we were doing it earlier in the game. We'd work the ball back around, probe a different spot, never kind of really seemed in danger of losing possession. I think maybe there were a couple scatter shot chances for Lexington in this run, but we had sustained possession, sustained pressure when we didn't have the ball. And it finally, I think Dory was kind of the spark for this one. And her runs on the right side and her crosses were a huge boon all game. And she chips one over. It's a little far. I think in the future, if Haugen starts getting her crosses a little bit more targeted, because she gets to the right spot to serve the ball in, it's just a little far sometimes. But this was a little far, but there's no such thing as a little far as long as it stays in bounds when the person you're kicking it towards is Sydney Nasella. Because she will get it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So she gets up, she finds herself on the end of it, tries to do that chip lob pass that she's been loving lately. It's popped back out towards her way, and she just, I don't know, somebody should have told that Lexington defender that Sydney Nasella was near her. Because she, like a bolt of lightning, mugged this poor girl, and just a incredible right-footed shot to put the ball where it needs to go. It's if you want to sum up Nasello in like one play, it's that one right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful, and she's been trying to get this shot for weeks now, months.
Yep.
At least. So I am sure she felt great. Happy belated birthday, by the way, and happy birthday goal, because that's awesome.
Yeah. That was the first, it was what, 2 days after her birthday, that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so definitely a phenomenal birthday goal.
Yeah, well earned.
Yeah.
by the Land O'Lakes Lionel Messi, Sydney Nasella.
That's a great name. Land O'Lakes. Oh.
Just think about them. They got the same. They dribble. They're both about this tall.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure she'd hate that comparison.
Yeah. Right. Come on. No. Yeah. I'm nothing like the greatest footballer of all time.
Yeah. After that though, it's almost like Lexington dies a little bit more.
Yeah. You can see more.
They have maybe 1 or 2 shots, but this is when it comes up around the 40th minute. It's like, this is painful to watch. They're not doing anything. Tosh just stops, looks around, and then passes. And the Lexington player just stands there.
It's we almost look surprised by how little pressure is being applied, I think.
Yeah.
Like, we were going guns out. I thought we were going to score pretty early, 18th, 19th, 15th minute. And Lexington, to their credit, in that early part of the game, did a great job to absorb all the way until the 36th minute when we got in.
Yeah.
And I think when we did that, it probably hurt a lot more than we all realized at the time for that team in green. Because it, like you said, you're absolutely right. They wilted after that goal.
Yeah,
The
because
damn
kept getting
open.
shot after shot. Like Flint shoots another one that goes high over the goal. 2 minutes later, Giamona finally gets her goal. It was absolutely beautiful. It was a one touch. She gets the ball, chips it over the keeper.
Yeah, that was fantastic. She'd had a couple of chances earlier that got snuffed out. Obviously, she wanted it. How could you not? But this was a goal scorer's goal. I think credit for this one has to start with Jordan Listro in the midfield. That five, we have such a competent group of midfielders where you can't help but play five of them at once, I think. And, you know, like,
no,
Listro,
I like that. That's funny.
Yeah, they're that good. Get them all out there, you know? If we can run a 0-11-0 or a 0-11 a 0-10-1 with Flu really far
We still
up.
need a keeper.
That's Sun Soccer right there.
Yeah.
oh yeah, keeper. So 0-9 or a 1-0-9-1 is the ideal formation.
Oops, all midfielders.
Oops, but it works. Sorry. but yeah. DSB is listening to this and like taking notes right now.
Yeah, definitely. It's very serious tactics right here.
Yeah, that's what they tuned in for. It was a great goal by Giamona, a fantastic finish, but most of the credit should probably go to Jordan Lister for this, because the pass that she played up to her, perfectly timed, perfectly weighted, perfectly placed. It absolutely split the two center backs that Lexington had. Neither of them can get to it in time. It was in that kind of dead middle of the field, no man's land, where it's hard to get to it unless you're really communicating well, and they weren't. And Giamona just used her speed to get out in front, had a good couple steps on both center backs. Saw the goalie, Bridget Skiba, like kind of far out, not even necessarily super far, maybe 15
just
yards
enough off her line.
Absolutely.
Just enough.
And a great malicious chip of a shot. Yeah.
Yeah, on legit. If you have not seen the highlights, go watch the highlights. All of the goals are absolutely amazing. Yeah.
And I think this goal in particular, if you want to look at each goal as like a facet of what the Tampa Bay Sun do as a team, the right-footed crosses, the right-sided crosses over to Nacello, that's the first goal. This second goal, if you think about it, it's Listro to Giamona, and Giamona is technically not one of the attacking midfielders the way the lineup is drawn, but in practice, in effect, Flint draws the pressure in the middle of the field. If you look at the replay, she's got someone draped all over her. She's wearing a Lexington player as a cape, basically. And that helps create the space in the middle. She really is.
It's just funny to picture.
Yeah, she's flying around, a Lexington player just holding on. But yeah, so Flint having that gravity to draw a player so tightly onto her creates an opportunity for Carly to exploit, to take that run up. And it's something we started seeing a lot more in the previous game, where our two quote unquote pivots, defensive midfielders, would use the space created by the three attacking midfielders, the right winger, the left winger, and the center one, to find gaps and shoot up. And it's a fun look that I don't think you see so often, especially in USL. And it's working because it doesn't have to come from Goins. It doesn't have to come from Flu. It can come from just about anybody on this team.
And about 3 minutes later, it does come from Flu.
Yeah. It doesn't have to, but it sure
can.
It
doesn't have to, but it can. About the 45th plus 2, Flu gets her goal. She's also been itching for one. Let's be real. Almost everyone who took a shot was itching for a goal. Yeah, I think this is again no undue shade cast towards Lexington, but this is a game you circle on the calendar as when you want to score in, I think. Yeah. And
flew fresh back off of that brace she had for the Denmark U23s. I was a little tough on her before she left international duty. I don't think she was playing up to her standards with us. But she went back home and figured it out because she came back looking real dangerous.
If anyone can find highlights from
Yeah.
her U23 game, by the way, we have looked. We cannot find it.
We don't
So it
speak
was
Danish.
It was Denmark versus Scotland. Scotland at least has a YouTube channel, but they don't have any highlights from it.
Yeah, 'cause they're awful.
We couldn't find shit. So if anyone can find an incredibly niche soccer game that was only on, I think, one of their streaming services or something.
Denmark
I can't even
Public
remember what it was.
Broadcasting Service. or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I would love to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, please leave a comment. Like and subscribe.
Yeah. We gotta
There, I
send this.
did it. I'm only
send
like
this to the
20
review.
minutes late.
You did it earlier.
Yeah.
We'll do it
Well, I was
every
like,
15 minutes.
yeah, okay, fair. Yes, like and subscribe though. It's at RBLR Sun on all socials and at RBLR Sports on YouTube, where you can see our beautiful faces.
Stop. You're too much. You're too much. Yeah, that flu goal. I got to finish up about it because it would be unfair to mention this goal without once again mentioning the work put in by Dory Haugen on the right wing. The same way she served in the ball that Nacello got on for the first one, she was the player here on the right side, running hard. And it's great to be able to get Zayd in late in the game and kind of fill a similar role too on the right side with her speed.
Yeah.
Getting a little ahead, but God, I love everybody on this team so much. But Dory did a great job once again in this the stoppage time goal in the first half, getting way the far upfield, hitting a good ball, right-footed, right before it kind of rolls out of touch. It's, I think, a better cross than the first one because Skiba, the Lexington goalie, was kind of in a weird spot with it. She dove, kind of got a hand on it because, I don't know, I think part of that is maybe she doesn't trust her defense so much, it looked like.
Well, they've already scored on her twice. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, so it's trouble for her. She tries to do something with it. Nobody wearing a green jersey gets there. Cecilia beats everybody there and just bangs it in. It's lovely. It's again, take each goal as, representative of what we want to do, and that's just, if we like it coming off the cross from the right. It can be Nacello with her, her press, her ride. It can be Flu coming in late because she positions herself extremely well as a young striker. But I mean, everything we wanted to do, everything we looked to execute upon in the first half, I think it was all there. I think it was maybe not a better 45 minutes of Sun Soccer in our entire storied history of our club.
I would agree.
Yeah.
See, you went on this very long description of like, oh yes, this is how we went to describe Sun Soccer, and I'm just like, you get a banger of a goal, you get a banger of a goal, you get a banger of a goal. That's Sun Soccer, baby.
If you're at home right now, look under your seat. You may have scored against Lexington. It's too funny. I'm sorry.
All right, that really got me. Thank you. That really got me.
Really good.
I apologize to any listeners who just heard a weird shrill sound. I laugh like a hyena.
Yeah.
Although you probably already know that if you've been listening.
Yeah. Show up to a game, you'll see more of it too. Again, fantastic first half. Liz, you want to get started on the second half? Let's get through this. I think obviously not as much happened in the second half. We don't have as much to say.
No, but about 15 minutes in, they're still not looking dangerous. They had a halftime talk. Nothing happened. And then I love it. We sub Zayden, and then immediately she's like, the first thing she does is like, I might just warm up with a flip throw real quick. Just real casual.
I'm not sure she even touches the ball with her foot first.
Yeah.
Just a casual 30-yard flip throw as her very first action of the game, which is crazy.
I don't know what she's made of, but it's not the same stuff as me.
No,
It's much tougher.
They build them differently up in Nebraska, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, see, even then my notes then go to Lexington, and I'm just like, has the Lexington coach considered putting both Colombian internationals in at the same time?
Yeah.
They might be good together.
Right.
Oh.
Far be it from the Sun podcasters to try and backseat coach an opponent. But maybe Lopez and Cabezas would play really well off of each other, considering they play for the same international team. But hey, I don't know. I'm not at practice, so what can I say?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think one came on the field as the other one was coming off, and that's what made me like realize, like, wait, they're both really good young players. I think as a team struggling late in the season to make something happen, isn't that kind of what you want out there?
Yeah, that's a weird one. Even when you got we went over when they were signed. You said something about, oh, I bet that'll be great. You got two players who can like read each other's minds, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, especially in a fresh league with new teams. You want to find those ready-made connections when possible. I think it's helpful. We've got a good couple of USF players, obviously. If it doesn't happen in the game, it definitely helps in practice, where they can help communicate what Coach DSB wants because they are familiar with her. So why not take these two aggressive young players with something to prove, both on loan from NWSL teams too, I believe, and get them out there. But that's been when I've talked to Lexington fans, they kind of seem concerned with like what the personnel usage is right now.
Honestly, Cynthia Cabezas was so good too.
Yeah.
She was like the only fire on or not the only fire, because they do get a goal. But yeah. But yeah, exactly. It's just odd. It's an odd lineup usage.
Yeah. So I hope they again, I like Lexington as a team. As a club, I love the ambition. They moved their men's team up to the championship this year. They built their new stadium. They're doing a lot of cool things. They have a mini pony. God knows I love a mini pony.
That's amazing, by the way. Like I'll dig on Lexington for a lot of things, but like the mini pony, 11 out of 10, honestly.
They get the little Sebastian of the Super League. You can't hate on it. But yeah,
I really can't. I literally have a Parks and Rec book like sitting on my shelf over there.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of a rewatch right now, so I get it. But yeah, I hope they figured out is what I'm getting at, but not the next time we play them, because we do play them one more time. I hope they look just like that.
They could, yeah, just stay the course. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we started to get our subs in. I think after we got scored on is when we started to make most of our subs, right? Yeah,
and we do get scored on in the 58th minute. There's just an unfortunate fumble by Paige. She gets it looks like, it kind of looks, and I sound like I'm making excuses for her. I'm not. I'm just trying to describe what looks like what happened. It looks like she kind of gets sideswiped. She's off her balance. She doesn't quite get both feet back on the ground and understanding what's like and focused again until the goal has happened. And shit happens. Okay. I would have liked a clean sheet, but the 4-1 win is still phenomenal. Clean sheet would be great. But I'll take it. Like shit happens.
It still helps our goal differential, and we have the best of the teams in that mid-table logjam right now, which is good. Even though we'll get into it a little bit later, but there's some not necessarily confusion with the way the table is set up, but maybe frustration. I don't know what the right word is. It's weird right now.
Yeah, I need you to explain it to me. I still don't get it.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's a play she usually makes. I don't want to say she gets lazy specifically, but when you're up 3-0, the whole defense we can see it sits back a little bit. Yeah, it's normally something she would be able to turn and dribble with, but a Lexington player did come in. I don't know if, grabbed an arm or something. I don't think it was I'm not going to sit here and say it was a foul. I don't think there was enough contact there to say,
No,
oh,
no, I don't think it was enough contact even for a foul. I think it was
no.
just bodies. Yeah, like I said, sideswipe. You get bumped and you don't expect it, and you're off balance. Like shit happens.
So yeah, if that's the one goal, fine.
Yeah. And like I would rather it be like a silly, like not even silly, but like a little mistake like that than like a clear, obvious, glaring error kind of thing.
Yeah, like, oh wow, she really messed up there. It was nothing.
Yeah, yeah. I'll. That's fine. Happens. No big deal. And we clearly didn't let it get to us because we kept charging forward and we kept dominating. Honestly, Lexington. And then you're right, we did make subs right after that. We had Hannah Keene come in for Flu.
Yeah,
that's how I wrote it. I wrote it in all caps with a lot of E's at the end.
Yeah, actually, Flint came out at halftime for
my bad.
Here. Yeah, we missed a little ground on the subs, but
my bad.
Again, and it's something you've definitely mentioned too, Liz, in the past, is that like the way our subs come in, the game does not change that much.
No, yeah, we have really figured out this nice little like we can just sub people in, nothing changes, the game plan stays exactly the same, the flow of play stays exactly the same. It's beautiful. I love it.
Flint came out at halftime for Andy Hoxatier in a very like for like change. She filled that same midfield role, and I think no issues at all. And then right after that Lexington goal, it was a couple minutes before the Lexington goal, we made another sub. Took Parker Goins out for Ava Tankersley. Goins didn't have, obviously not a bad game, but not the most impactful game. And that's nothing on her. I think that's just the way the linkage happened. You're going to find the most direct route to who's open, and it was Flu, it was Dory on the right side. Obviously she's doing something right if she's helping create space. Space is a commodity in a soccer match, and if you're clogging the space, you don't belong out there. If you're creating space, you're helping.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. And so we did and then Hannah Keene does come in. You're right. We got there. And we love to see it. This is her third appearance now since coming back from that ACL injury. And she's looked more and more confident every single time.
Yes, I love that she's coming in now in like the 68th. She's getting like a full like almost 25 minute. I love it. We're so close to her coming in at like half at this point. We're so close.
And she's like the closest thing we've got to like a world-class player, I think, is Hannah Keene.
Oh, she's freaking phenomenal.
I'm
so excited just to see more of her. Like the day we see her in the starting lineup, I'm just gonna be like, yes.
Yeah. And I think it'll happen for sure. She deserves it. Those were the main subs for most part of the game, and then still not much happening. I mean, I do like the note in here about Orcus taking 21 seconds to get the ball back into play.
Also, apparently Listro can only shoot with she can only score with her left foot. We have decided because she does shoot earlier, but she skies it, but it was with her right foot.
Yeah, true.
I have lots of goofy notes from this point on. I'm so sorry to the listeners. Like at one point they screwed up the little I don't know what the toast or whatever it's
Chiron.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. And it just said F long last name.
I checked. It wasn't a long last name. It was kind of a weird one. It was Jennifer Albu was the sub.
Their name is F long last name, and you will call them by that.
Long last name. No, it's not long. That's just USL though. Any USL game, League One, Championship. Not League Two because they don't have that level of production. But if they did, they would screw it up too. Long last name or first name, last name has made an appearance for every team in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. and then
Around the
what?
84th, Duhua comes in. Very happy. We love to see her. I do feel like this is DSB's sign of like, okay, park the bus.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hannah Keene didn't get that memo.
No.
Hannah Keene was like, oh no, my parents are here. I'm gonna score a goal. And then she does. And it was awesome.
Incredible.
Honestly, yeah, it was a phenomenal goal. And her mom came to me at halftime, just like a weird tangent, but mom came to me at halftime, such that she watches the show. Which, by the way, if you're watching, hi, nice. I'm so happy. It was nice to meet you.
Hi, Mrs. Keene.
Yeah, I'm so happy you got to see her score a goal, and I'm so happy that she got a third appearance.
Yeah,
for the team.
Third
Insanity.
substitute appearance. She probably doesn't have more than like 50 minutes out there, more than 60 minutes.
Insanity. But we love Hannah Keene's mom.
Yes,
and we're so happy that you got to see such a great game.
Yeah, it really did seem like nobody thought there was another goal left in this game.
No, I thought that was it. I was happy with that.
Yeah, especially
and
when
then Hannah Keene was like, nah.
Yeah, I mean,
she's got 47 minutes of play.
Oh my God, that's okay.
She's got one half of play, and she's got
a goal already after an ACL injury. That's incredible. She really is that good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, credit to her because she scored the goal, and I think she made it happen too. But the press, insofar as you can call it a press, was broken by it was a long lob pass by Paige. And sometimes you can see a long lob pass out of the back line and like think it's a clear or just something like hopeful. This seemed purposeful. She had the ball. She wasn't really being pressured. And she popped this thing up in the air, 40, 50 yards almost, it seemed like. And Hannah tracked it down, beat her marker to it, ran through with the ball. I think it was one of my preferred Lexington players too, Madison Perez, on the defensive effort here. Trying to catch up the whole way. Has played, 90 minutes of soccer. She's tired, and she looks it against Hannah Keene, who is fresh. Little outside of the boot touch with like a fake shot, and just takes Perez out of the picture. And then the right-footed goal. It was a stronger shot than it needed to be. It seemed like it was something. I think she hit this ball for herself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. After all that recovery, all that work, you know how shitty PT is.
Yeah.
After going through all that to score that definitively, I think that had to mean the world to Hannah.
Oh, yeah. And you could see it on everyone's faces after the game. That does end the game a couple minutes later. It ends 4-1. And you can see immediately everyone is jumping on Hannah for her goal. DSB has proud mommy face. Everybody is adorable on this team, and I love all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It felt like a lot like last week when Listro finally scored.
Yeah.
It looked like everyone was really relieved, really happy. And this was that almost like kicked up a little bit more even.
Yeah. It was a great game.
Yeah. Well, great game. If you went to the Rowdies game, it's the home opener. I totally understand it. But
sorry.
Yikes. Sorry. So that being said, we have successfully.
What is it? Wait. What did I say? The Tampa metropolitan area is yellow and blue.
Yeah.
So then we
love the Rowdies. We love the Rowdies.
Yeah.
Yes.
The state of Florida is definitely yellow, but like the metropolitan area is blue.
Yeah. We've got yellow all over the state. It's just what color goes. Yeah. Yeah, so that was the 7th place team in the Super League, and we mollywopped them. We do have the 8th place team coming up. Liz, do you want to finish that game up? Give us your player of the match.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say like the whole team, everyone had such good goals, but like it's Hannah King.
Yes.
It's Hannah. I'm just so happy for her. Like, especially as someone who has also gone through like PT and done all of this, and then to come back and then like just so triumphantly. It's awesome. I'm so happy for her.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for what we're gonna have with her moving forward. She's gonna be a key player when we make playoffs.
When? Because it's
I'm
coming.
speaking it into existence.
We're getting up there. Brooklyn's coming down. Yeah. Hannah Keene has looked better and better every game. And I know you're not just saying that because you think her mom might be watching.
No, honestly, she scored like 10 minutes, 15 minutes into her appearance.
Yeah. She deserves it.
Fastest goal scorer of the game, if you think about it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Fun metric. We'll keep track of that from now on. My player of the match, it's an olive branch because it's a player I love everybody on the team. I came the closest to trashing somebody with this player a couple weeks ago with her play. My player of the match is Cecilia Flew Nielsen because she came back like a lightning bolt. Super involved everywhere on the field, really doing everything right. She looks like she's got it figured back out. I don't know if there was I can't speak and I won't speak to what may have been going on a couple weeks ago when I was down on her, but I am fully back on board with Flu. She super high up. Look at that. He got the
the thing.
Got the thing fixed there. Okay.
The thing. Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but it's a thing.
Right. Cecilia, you were incredible this game. The goal was fantastic. It's exactly the kind of thing I expect to see out of you. Pouncing on a confused injured defense and making them bleed for it. You were a cruel person, and I mean that in the kindest way. So welcome back. We've learned how to pronounce your name. Glad you're here.
Amazing. All right. We play DC.
Yep. 8th place, DC Power.
Friday. Yes. Not when this episode comes out.
We don't know when
yesterday, I think.
Not yesterday.
It was supposed to be a Tuesday, right? Or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it got moved from Earth Day. I think it was next Tuesday it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But now it's
good. Friday. Earth Day is an important holiday.
Yeah, we shouldn't be flying planes on Earth Day, okay? So yes, we are playing DC on Friday. We are the lone Friday game. So everybody in the Super League will be watching. Yes, we did just beat the 7th place team, Lexington. DC is the 8th place team. You would think this may be a little bit of an easier game. I would venture to say it will not be. I rate DC higher. I think they've had a good run of form. I think the problem may have been my boy Frederick Briant earlier in the year. Because since then, in the they're back under quote unquote interim head coach Phil Nana, but I don't think there's much of an interim going on there. They played 2 games last week. They lost 0-1 to Carolina, the hottest team in the Super League. Can't be too upset with a 1-goal loss. And then
actually a 0-1 loss, not that bad.
Yeah, really. And that's the pattern I'm getting at with DC. It was 0-1 to Carolina and then a 1-1 draw against Fort Lauderdale over the weekend. Because they
drew Fort Lauderdale, y'all. Yeah. Like, let that sink in.
Fort Lauderdale is in effect.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, that's part of the Big Jim curse. You come here on a hot streak, we're gonna screw it up for you. So yes, they are sitting in 8th place, but they are not by any measure a team to be taken lightly. Not a team to sleep on. You can't think, we beat Lexington 4-1, we're going to beat DC 5-0. I don't think it's like that. And the numbers will back me up here. This spring season, since they've been under the command of Phil Nana, they have looked extremely competitive. It's a bad run of form. They haven't won, and they deserve to be in 8th place because of that. But listen to these scores as I list them out. This is their spring season so far. 3-3 against Carolina. Okay. Yeah, right. First off, cool. They lost 1-2 versus Lexington. They lost 2-3 versus Spokane, a very hot team in 2025. And then a 1-1 draw against Brooklyn, a 0-1 loss against a very good Dallas Trinity side. And then this past week, 0-1 loss to Ascent and a 1-1 draw against Fort Lauderdale United. Those are all games within one goal, if not a draw. They have not lost by 2 goals in all of the spring season. So
which tells me that maybe they're lacking in the attack, but not so much in the defense.
Yes. I like the DC defense. I think they're pretty well drilled on what they're doing back there. If you watched at least the highlights of their last game against Fort Lauderdale, we know Fort Lauderdale can score. They're a pretty high scoring team as it goes. I think their games against us haven't been super indicative of their team as a whole, but when they play anybody else in the league, they're a very high powered team. They go out there with velocity, and I don't mean the Spokane men's team. But when they go up against this DC side, it was actually the Power who went up first. And very ironically, the DC goal scorer was a player you should be looking for this Friday, was number 13, their striker, Gianna Gorley. This is ironic because she is currently on loan to DC from Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. So
why is there so much incest in this league?
Yeah, a lot of it's Fort Lauderdale too. But yeah, so Fluted dropped 2 points in that game against the worst team in the league because of a player they have lent them. That is
Fluted did the Brooklyn thing.
Yeah. They keep doing it. I think they're coaching Tyrone Mears great. I think their players very good. I got some questions asked about that front office because they sent Luana Grabius to Brooklyn, who has been nothing but fantastic for Brooklyn.
Oh, that's right. I thought it was the other way around. I got it mixed up. Yeah.
No, you're right. And so yeah, they sent Grabius. That was the first ever inter Super League trade.
Yeah.
Not really a trade. It was cash considerations, I think. And then they loaned Gianna Gorley up to DC, and that comes back to bite them. So they're making some interesting choices with what they do with their players, but whoever Tyrone Mears actually has, he does a good job with. So that's, but yeah, so the fact of the matter is we got to take DC very seriously. Clearly we can score much more freely than we used to be able to. 4 goals is huge, and it came from a lot of different players, came from different places on the field. But we're going to need that against a surprisingly solid DC Power defense.
They're not hot, but they're definitely like warm.
Yeah.
They're warming up. They are a cold car heating up. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah, Eureka, can you edit that out?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're not hot, but relatively speaking, for a DC team, this is great. Yeah.
Yeah, those are games that you would have expected the losses that Brooklyn's been having, quite frankly.
Yes, and that's a fantastic segue, Liz, because Brooklyn has been losing. They've lost multiple games. They haven't won in their past 9. In that string of games, they lost 6-0 to Dallas. They lost 5-0 to Carolina. When you're on a 9-game winless streak,
you got to tell them when that last win was, though.
Oh, when was it? It was December 14th.
December, yeah, it was like December.
Right. Yes.
So that's just to put it in perspective, because you hear 9 games and you're like, well, how long ago was that? Yeah. It's like December. They have not won a game in this half of the season.
4 months. Yeah. In the spring. And so, so when that happens, and I think when that losing streak started, I think they were first place still, right?
Yeah.
So look,
if not, they were fighting Dallas, I think, for it.
I
think Carolina was solidly in like 3rd.
Yeah, and they've started their resurgence since then. But the fact of the matter is, when you go on a 9-game winless streak, you don't win for 4 months. Granted, there was a break in there, but still, it hurts, I'm sure, as a fan. When you lose 2 games, 6-0, 5-0, a funny thing happens sometimes. And that funny thing is your head coach gets fired. So we're breaking the news to you. If you're paying attention at all, you already know. But we may be breaking the news to you. Brooklyn has fired head coach Jessica Silva. They have just 5 games left, Brooklyn. And they are in complete free fall right now. So it remains to be seen if they keep free falling, and I sure hope they do, or if somehow an assistant coach or something can help out a little bit, find a win somewhere. I'm not 100% sure who their remaining 5 games are against, but I know for us, we have a softer schedule than probably anybody, because we got 2 games against DC and 1 more against Lexington. We're done with the Dallases, Fort Lauderdales of the world.
No, I thought we had one more Dallas.
Oh, we do have 1 more Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't love that.
I was like, wait, no, because Chili Palmer wants me to get his scarf signed. I was like, no, we have a Dallas game.
That's fun. Good catch. Yeah, so we have 1 more Dallas, but I know a couple weeks ago I was saying, oh, we don't have Brooklyn for the last couple weeks, and I think maybe I wish we did at this point. We got them at the wrong time.
I know. Yeah. So it would have been nice if we could have played them a little bit later in the season.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, it does lead into the log jam. There are 3 teams involved in that mid-table log jam right now, and it's Brooklyn, it's us, Tampa Bay Sun, and it's Fort Lauderdale United. All teams tied on 33 points, and you would think, intuitively speaking, here's where things get a little woo-woo, okay? Because intuitively speaking, you think it would go to head-to-head or goal differential. If it goes to head-to-head, things get weird, because Tampa Bay holds the head-to-head over Fort Lauderdale, but Fort Lauderdale holds it over Brooklyn, and Brooklyn holds it over us. So it's rock, paper, scissors. So you would think then it would go to a goal differential, right? Mm-hmm. And we have a +8 goal differential. Fort Lauderdale has a +6, and Brooklyn, with their 2 huge losses, have a -6 goal differential. So, we should be 3rd, right?
Yes.
Right. Here is what is happening in the table. We have gotten this from a source very familiar with what the league is doing. It becomes a mini table, essentially, when teams are tied on points. You take these 3 teams, and you don't do, this team's got the head-to-head, this team's got the head-to-head over them. You take the cumulative points in those head-to-head matches. And in matches against Fort Lauderdale and Tampa Bay, Brooklyn has 11 points. And then in matches against in matches against Fort Lauderdale and Tampa Bay, Brooklyn has 11 points they've earned. Fort Lauderdale in matches against Tampa and Brooklyn have earned 9 points. We have earned 8 points in our games against Fort Lauderdale and Brooklyn. So that is how we are actually 5th and not 3rd, even though...
Well, that's poopy.
Yes. It's unique. It's something. I think, I don't know, I guess it makes sense. Maybe...
USL, answer for your crimes.
Please. Because I was tearing my hair out at work earlier doing this. But yeah, I guess it makes sense. I would just like that head-to-head tiebreaker, the first tiebreaker, to be maybe a little more explained. I don't know if they anticipated this situation happening, and it won't be relevant after this next match week, because I doubt, all 3 of us are going to win our games or lose our games. There's going to be different results. But
no, we're going to win.
We're going to win our game, that's for sure. And
yes,
I mean, Brooklyn, God knows, they might lose. Fort Lauderdale might lose. So, I mean, that's what we're hoping for right there. So that's how it breaks down. That's why we're in 5th place, even though it kind of feels like we shouldn't be, especially because we're so hot right now.
Yeah. Okay, so other scores this week. as we talked about, Carolina beat Brooklyn 5-0.
Yep.
Lord, that's a murder if I've ever seen one.
Yep, that's the murder that killed Jessica Silva's Super League career too.
Yeah. Fort Lauderdale tied DC 1-1, which it's still a very strange one. And Spokane beat Dallas 3-0
again.
What?
Yep. That's Spokane is the hottest team in the Super League right now.
Okay.
Based off of form, they are.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best.
Draw, win. Yeah.
Yep. So it's
almost a crime that they're in
6th place. I think I wrote 5th there.
Yeah, you did.
But
Spokane good.
Spokane good. Spokane very good.
Yeah.
They're a team we have to worry about. We have to keep winning our games just to hold off Spokane, and we hope Fort Lauderdale keeps doing what they're doing and Brooklyn keeps doing what they're doing. I wouldn't be surprised if us and Spokane sneak into the playoffs at the end of the year at the expense of Brooklyn and Fort Lauderdale, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so and that'll be.
Sorry, I got distracted by super producer Eureka. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you nerds talk about spreadsheets.
Yeah.
The game's played on the field, man.
Speaking of games that are going to be played on a field, here are the upcoming matches.
Mm-hmm.
When this episode comes out tonight, will be 6 p.m. Lexington versus Spokane. These are all in Eastern Standard Time, by the way. I don't know if I should have ever clarified that, but whatever.
We're Eastern.
Yeah. Lexington versus Spokane. Spokane definitely the favorite there. Yeah. So we'll see.
I would prefer they didn't win, but I feel like they will.
Yeah. Friday you have us playing at DC at 7:30. Like we said, we think this might be a tough one, but we should win this one, but I think it will be much more difficult than the game we just played for sure.
Yeah. Don't be overconfident going into this, and don't be disappointed if it ends up being a closer game than 4-1, because it probably will be.
Yeah. And then on Saturday, you've got all the soccer you can handle. We have Dallas versus Fort Lauderdale.
Very interesting game.
Dallas the favorite there, right?
Probably, but that 3-0 loss to Spokane hurts. But I would still have to give it to Dallas, I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that'd be best. I think if Carolina and Dallas can keep that 1-2 spot, that's fine by me. I don't need Dallas to start losing games for us to gain on them. Carolina, Dallas 1 and 2, that's fine. I just want Fort Lauderdale and Brooklyn to make way.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. And speaking of Brooklyn, they are playing at Brooklyn versus Lexington at 6 p.m. on Saturday as well.
Honestly,
that'll definitely be an interesting game. Who knows who's going to win that one?
Yeah. That'll be Brooklyn's first game with. Actually, it won't be Brooklyn's first game without Jessica Silva, because they started the season without her because she took so damn long to get here.
Yeah. Well, no, I think they had a different coach in mind.
I think that's what it was, but I
could have sworn that's what happened. It was like an international thing, and then the visas thing.
Well, she's Portuguese.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a dude. I don't know why.
Portuguese Canadian or something. Yeah, but it's I don't know. The whole coaching thing is weird up in Brooklyn, and it hasn't gotten less weird.
Nope. And then we have a very hot Carolina versus a pretty hot Spokane, or a very hot Spokane, excuse me. And that is definitely going to be an interesting game to watch. I will be tuning in for that one. Interested to see if Carolina can destroy Spokane. Maybe they could slow them down a little bit.
I don't know. High key, this is the game of the weekend.
And Carolina. They will be coming off another away game earlier in the week. So that will be a pretty tight schedule for them.
Yeah, thankfully, because Spokane is at Lexington on Wednesday, and then at Carolina on Saturday. Thankfully, the flight between those two places, negligible. 2 hours, maybe 1 hour. So they'll be accustomed to, and honestly, that might be a good thing for the Zephyr, not having to deal with a lot of time change, because they'll be out here already. They're going to be raring to go against a very good Carolina team. That's a super intriguing game.
Yeah. I'm very interested to tune into that one. I can't make a prediction for that game.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
I think we want Carolina to win because they're up there in first. Stay there. That's fine. I don't think we could get first unless a bunch of really crazy math stuff happened. So I'm not worried about getting first place. But I would like Spokane to stay below us.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Tom, what starts tomorrow?
What starts tomorrow? What starts tonight, you mean?
Oh, tonight, yes, technically.
Yeah, as of recording tomorrow. But on Wednesday, April 16th, we get a little baby sister, the Super League does. We get to welcome Canada's Northern Super League into the world. It is the very first match for the top flight of Canadian women's soccer, which is super cool to see. I can't wait to see what the level of play is going to be like. Can't wait to see what the market is going to be like with them and WSL and with us. I think that could be really interesting. All these Northern Super League games will be on ESPN Plus here in the States, so get ready to tune in. I'm looking forward to it. The first ever game in Super League, Northern Super League history, will be 10 o'clock Eastern Time, Wednesday, April 16th. It will be the host Vancouver Rise FC, featuring at least two players we will know. Quinn of the Canadian women's national team. Fantastic player, has been around for what feels like a decade at least. And also Mariah Lee, who we USL Super League fans may remember as the player who was effectively traumatized by having to play for DC Power. So she's up in Vancouver now. She's
as far away from DC as possible.
She could have gotten, yeah. So I can only assume she's doing much better. So that Vancouver Rise team looks pretty good from the get-go. They will be playing Calgary Wild FC, which, as far as I'm concerned, is led by Largo, Florida native, University of Florida graduate, Maggie Doherty Howard, a player straight up I thought the Sun were going to sign. I think it just didn't line up with her contracts and all, but now she's up in Calgary. So yeah, 10 o'clock, Wednesday, April 16th, first ever Northern Super League game. Tune in if not for any reason except for the history, because that's, I mean, as huge as USL Super League is for us, our compatriots north of the border have needed something like this for a long time as well. So I look forward to
as hungry as we are, they are too. They have been, I'm sure they're just as much chomping at the bit and then looking at the NWSL and being like, we could do that too.
Right? They're just as hungry as we are, and they're cold because they're in Canada.
Yes. All right. I think that about wraps it up for today. Remember to hit all the buttons, like, subscribe. We are at our predictions. Haha. Thanks, super producer Rika. I was so focused on trying to make a good outro this time.
Wow. Yeah, you thought too much about the outro.
I did. Predictions for this DC game. I'm going to say 2-0.
2-0. Okay.
I said 2-0.
Okay. Eureka also saying 2-0.
Okay.
All right. Eureka's robot assistant Sunrise saying 1-1. I'm going to go 2-1.
Okay. That was my next prediction on it. It was like my backup. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we keep the clean sheet, but I don't know. I like DC more than an 8th place team should, more than I should like.
I do too, but I'm more worried about their attacking, not attacking.
Yeah. Hell, it could be one.
I'm more predicting they're attacking one attack as much.
Could be 1-0, but our offense is hot right now. So I think we get multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think 2-0 is the fun bet, but hey.
2-0. All right. Yeah. Hopefully.
I'm behind in the prediction standing, so I got to do something different.
Okay. All right. Now that wraps it up for today. Remember to like, subscribe, hit all the buttons. It's at RBLR Sun FC on all socials and at RBLR Sports on YouTube. Come subscribe and look at our beautiful faces while we talk at your face about Sun soccer for an hour and a half or so. So let's go the Sun.
Let's go the Sun.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.